Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
Together they have, and together they stand alone on top of the mountain for now. And once again, the Boston Celtics stand alone for all time. It is banner 18.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to episode 27 of a New Era podcast. I am the OG Frid. Better known as OG Frid. And today I'm here with my co-host, Hanson, better known as Fryddy online. Would you like to say good morning to listeners, Fryddy?
Hello. Switch it up a little bit with the intro.
I was kind of.
Did you see that there too? Right as soon as I pressed go, my leg's on fire. I just spilt coffee right on it. So that's just, it's
good. So good thing I took it, or maybe it's a bad omen that I start the podcast. But
I think it is.
I didn't want to be the one to. I wanted to say my co-host.
Oh, there we go. All right. Yep. No, and now we're just back to the same old. So
yeah,
I hope that felt good.
It did.
We got that. A week of sports went on. The 4th of July went on. We're still in that time of the year where this is just baseball and baseball only. We're getting some news about some teams with free agency, some teams with trades and acquisitions and whatnot that we can talk about. But mostly it's just going to be the Sox. And our Sox here. Our Sox here had a good week.
Yeah.
Decent week. Pretty
decent
good
week.
I'll say good week. I'll say great week, actually. That's 5-1, isn't it? We swept the Marlins, won last night 3-0 against the Yankees to win the series 2-1. What did we say? I think we said we wanted 4-2.
We wanted 4-2.
We would hope for 5-1, and we hit a 5-1. All thanks to. Let's talk about this because we were obviously watching this game. All thanks to Yoshida getting it back.
Oh yeah.
He's back. It only took him 2.5 months, but he
was in.
He needed that. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But he needed to get back on track and was able to do it with a 2-run game-tying home run on the last pitch of the game in the top of the 9th in Yankee Stadium in a rivalry game on a series that starts right after the 4th of July. I mean, it can't be better than that. Ties up the game 3-3 Friday night. We come back in extra innings. One of the first pitch, Zenon sees, bang. Straight to center, 2-run home run, puts us up 5-3. Kenley comes out, closes out the game, and that's a 5-3 Red Sox win. That's how we started out the series on Friday night against the Yanks. And you could just see us killing the vibes of all the Yankee fans and the Yankee faithful that went to that game and thought for all of the 100 and whatever pitches that were thrown that they had the game. All it took was one, and that's what happened. Then they came out on Saturday and they got a little pissed. they were a little mad. It kind of took it out on us, but last night then we go to win the series. I didn't watch. Did you watch last night's game? I didn't.
Yeah.
We were out, so I didn't have the time to. But 3-0. Who pitched last night?
It was Cutter Crawford, and oh my
god,
the kid. So Cutter had 40 pitches going into the 5th or the 6th. I think he was the first or second pitcher in years to be doing that.
I fucking did it again.
New
This
cup.
coffee mug's just not working. I don't know. It's a whole lot of shit going on. Yeah, I'm seeing it here. 7 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. Only 4 strikeouts against this Yankee team is that's the only thing that really surprised me here. Because
Yeah, but he got Aaron
just
Judge.
swinging a mess.
Yeah, he got Aaron Judge when needed. Absolutely just loved his emotion. It looked kind of funny. I mean, for throwing so few pitches, he was, and they kept on talking about the humidity and how hot it was yesterday in New York. And I mean, he was sweating. He was giving a lot of energy on that mound for his few pitches. It started off as an absolute pitching duel between the two, the heel and cutter. Went
Gill.
like they say heel.
It's not. It's Lewis Gill. I
Alright.
think.
Well, that's not what the broadcasts were saying, but
All right, whatever.
yeah. Absolute. I think it was 6. So Gill ended up. Aaron Boone came out in the 6th, and he said, had a little conversation. It was it looked as if he was going to get pulled after this, and struck out. I don't know who he struck out. Don't remember. It was Duran, but he ended up coming back out. Went 6 2/3, and Ruffy hits a home run.
Not only just one. I'm looking here. Ruffy had a fucking game. 2 dingers, 3 hits. He went 3 for 4. 2 solo shots. It's looking like.
Yep.
I mean, holy hell, Ruffy. Welcome back. Wake up. You know, I don't know what it is about the Yankees, man, but they get him going. And he can play against the Yanks.
Yeah, there was another stat that came out regarding home runs in Yankee Stadium, current, and he had, at the time, it was 14, but now 2, so 16. So I think it ties him with David Ortiz, Red Sox,
For most
current MLB player in Yankee Stadium and hitting home runs. It's him.
That's awesome. Wow. I mean, go off, Rafi. And with good reason, because that I've got some great news. What we've been petitioning for.
Yeah, I know.
For so many weeks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I saw it yesterday. We got our All-Stars. And we were talking about it last week. We said it would be nice if it was probably Tanner. You know, we'd like a pitcher. But if we get one, it should be Jarren. We didn't get one. The 49-40 AL wild card Red Sox, they don't just get one. They get 3 All-Stars. Rafael Devers, Jarren Duran, and Tanner Houck are our All-Stars, our 2024 Red Sox All-Stars. I actually had a whole thing about this, I think. Let me see. Last night on Twitter, right? About when they had the Jarren Duran All-Star thing. The Red Sox tweeted out, said, "Thank God." Actually, I can't talk about this here. I realize this now. There was a lot of haters in the Twitter comments, that's all I'll say, about Jarren Duran becoming an All-Star, or just the Sox in general having All-Stars, even though we're a good team, and I kind of shot him down. But Devers, 3rd All-Star appearance, collected his 1,000th career hit on Saturday, which, you know, great stuff, but it's even better, and just builds up the story just a little better, that his 1,000th career hit is off his son, Garrett Cole, because he is his father, and he owns Garrett Cole. And not only is it just a hit off Garrett Cole, fucking solo shot dong that went to the moon. So fitting that that's Rafi's 1,000th hit. Making him just the 6th player in Sox history to reach that mark before turning 28. He said he was super happy to be an All-Star, very thankful and everything. I'll be honest, I didn't think it would be him this year. And he's been good, don't get me wrong. It's just one of those, like, he said one of those years, I think it's just like a Rafi year you come to expect. Nothing that, kind of jumps off the page to you, and nothing that you would think would scream All-Star. But it's good to see that. Go ahead.
This is the thing. Now we're just being, is Rafi doing what he's doing this year, just consistently doing this, and now we're like, oh, he's not an All-Star, unless he puts up large. I mean, he's just very consistent doing what this body of work. I pulled up here. ESPN has us ranked as the 12th best team. Previous ranking was 8, so I can't see why we dropped.
Yeah, dropped 4.
After this previous week. But Rafael Devers is quietly on his way to perhaps the best season of his career. He's on pace for his 4th 30 home run season and currently has career best in OBP, slugging, and OPS. He hit 300 in June with a 1.015 OPS. There are only 6 other AL third basemen have had at least 4 30 home run seasons, playing at least 50% of the games there. Alex Rodriguez has 7, Harmon Killebrew 5, Adrian Beltre 4, Evan Longoria 4, Troy Glaus 4, and Dean Palmer 4. And surprisingly, the only other third baseman to have a 30 home run season in Red Sox history is Butch Hobson.
So Rafi is certified good.
Rafi's certified good. And the weird thing is, and when I watched baseball growing up, third base was always that power hitting, position in the field, in the lineup and in the field. After reading this, when I always thought first, third, and then a corner outfield.
Well, because I was going to say first. Yeah. I'd almost say first over third, but they're right there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm thinking that maybe that was more of a stat in the NL compared to the AL, because obviously AL, you've had the DH a whole lot longer, and maybe you put people there. But I was very surprised to read that, he's on pace for 6, only the 6th other third baseman. And hitting 4, that ties them with 4 other guys one more year, and you're tied with the great Harmon Killebrew. And you're on your way to beat Alex Rodriguez. I mean, at his age, he'll definitely pass that.
You want to talk about good stories? Let's talk about the fact that Jarren Duran didn't make the opening day roster in 2023 to now, where at most would probably consider him our MVP throughout this first half of the year.
Oh yeah. There was
hitting. Wait. Oh no, this is his stuff from last year. This is him right now. 276, 338, 475, 24 doubles, 10 triples, 10 homers, 21 stolen bases. Just an all-around tool. I mean,
what was the stat that I gave out earlier?
That was on Twitter. Let me find it. I can find it because I didn't tweet too much.
The first AL player in the history of baseball to have 10 home runs, 10 triples, 100 hits, and I think 20 stolen bases before the All-Star game. The first AL player ever to do that. NL has done it before, but the first AL player to ever do that.
He's incredible, man. He is incredible. I sent you this tweet. Now, granted, this was before. Was this? This was July 5th at 10:30. So this was after we won the game Friday night. First game against the Yanks. So we're 49-40 now.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were 48-39 after Friday, Red Sox own the MLB longest active win streak. That got snapped, obviously, but that was 5 games. They were 15-5 in their last 20. I think they're now 14-6. I don't know how that dates back to 20. They were an MLB best 26-15 in the last 41 games. They were a season high, and still are, season high 9 games above 500. And are, I can actually adjust this, 29-17 on the road. It said 10-1 in the last 11. I think that moves to 11-2 in the last 13. I mean, you just add them in there. I mean, still, as a team on the road, we have known this from the start. Since the start of the year, we were talking about, oh, well, we got to be better in Fenway, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you're this damn good on the road, you almost don't need to be that great at Fenway. But here's a good question.
Just go 500 at home.
Well, here's a good question then, because you don't want to go 500 at home, right? I mean, you want to, be able to come back to Fenway and feel good about where you're playing. It won't matter in the long run once it comes to the playoffs because, I mean, we're going to be a wild card team regardless. But we're now, 89 games in, so we're over halfway through the season. And we're 20-23 at home. How you feeling about it? Because it used to be, oh, no, we'll come around. We were talking about this at the start of the year. It's like, oh, we'll come around. We'll get better at Fenway. We'll get better. We'll. And now it's like, how much longer can we keep saying that and keep pushing that off? Having this 29-17 away record continue to hold us a little bit and carry us a little bit through these standings.
Well, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see that, obviously, and I think the national media now is playing up on this, understanding this is absolutely a fun team, and I think them being on the road, obviously, them together in the in the hotel, them going out to eat. Yes, granted, we got 3 All-Stars, so a pretty decent team, but they're just scrappy. Besides Raffy and O'Neill, no big home run power. I mean, obviously Cedena has hit, I think, 11, so that's surprising. And Jarren having his 10th. But I mean, just a scrappy team that needs to be together, and just have fun out on the road, compared to obviously being at home where maybe they're a little bit more relaxed in around family and all. Very relaxed, yeah. Again, I think if we just go 500 at home, obviously you want to do better, but we have to get to that 500 mark, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, 20-23, I think. I'm not looking at it again, but, you're not too far off. I mean, all you need is this series we're about to walk into, a 3-game.
I was just going to say,
A's,
I think,
and you can get it back. I mean, we've got 2 series at home here before the All-Star break, so this is the chance to get above that mark. All right, so we went over last week, so let's look ahead here. We're coming up on the All-Star break, so like next week when we do our episode, we're not going to have much of a Red Sox week to kind of predict and look ahead to. We'll have the All-Star game, and we can talk about how many home runs that Jarren Duran's going to hit in the All-Star game. We know it's going to be like 7. But we don't play today, but we play tomorrow. We start with a series against the terrible, terrible, terrible Oakland Athletics. I say that I don't think they're as bad as the White Sox. Let me see. No, they are much better than the White Sox. It's crazy when I'm saying a team that is 34-58 is much better than another team, but that's because the White Sox are 26-66 and might not even eclipse like 50 wins. 3-game set against the A's. starting tomorrow, goes Wednesday, goes Thursday, and then there's a big series here.
Big, yeah.
Starting Friday, Royals, Saturday, Royals, Sunday, Royals, all in Fenway. Keep in mind, this is the team that we have jumped in the wildcard rankings here. We are a game and a half behind the Twins for the second wildcard, and we are a game and a half up on the Royals for that third wildcard spot, with the Astros just a little behind them at 46 and 44. So, knowing this, knowing how we've been doing at home, give me the prediction for this week. And, I mean, with your prediction for this week, it's probably going to tell if we're going to stay in this wild card spot by the All-Star break or not, I think.
I'm going to say 4-2.
4-2?
Yeah. What would be great with the 4-2, I'd rather us not sweep the Athletics and then take 1-2 against the Royals. I'd rather go, 2-1 in both series so that we keep ahead of the Royals. And yeah, I think that the Athletics could be sneaky enough and maybe take one from us. But obviously a 5-1 week would be the dream. But I think
how many of those? We can't get too greedy.
Yeah, I think 4-2 is a very realistic. Very realistic.
I'm gonna go 3-3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2-1 against the A's and 1-2 against the Royals. However, 3-3 just keeps us right where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think, because I'm looking at it here, if we were to lose a game to the Royals, like I'm saying, they're a game and a half back. You lose a game, they're half a game back. They play the Cardinals for 2 games, and then they play us. I could see them splitting with the Cardinals, going 1-1 there. So I think by the end of this week, going into the All-Star break, we will still just barely have a hold on that wild card spot, probably about half a game. And then we worry about the second half of the season. I see 3-3. I'd like 4-2. I'd love 5-1.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was a very, not to say we can't keep a run going, because, we've seen them over the last couple of weeks be that team that's like just turning it on, But I think you come off of the sweep of the Marlins. You come off of a series win against the Yankees, very high-strung, very emotional series, beating your rival, July 4th series or right after. I mean, this was big stuff in the Bronx, big lights, Sunday Night Baseball, all that, and then take it back. Boom, now you play the Oakland Athletics at home on a Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I kind of see it as one of those, all right, let's reset. Get back to even sort of things. It won't be the A's that really bite us in the ass here. It's just going to be the vibes of coming back and just trying to maintain that level of play that we've had. And I think it's very different to try to take that level of play and apply it to beating a team like the A's or the Royals when you were taking it to, beat the Yankees. But that's a whole different game. When you play the Yankees, when it's Sox Yankees, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, we playing to the level of our competition, rather than us being the dominant team. Now you have a lesser competition that we'll be playing against, and we're because we're still really young, a really young club, and yeah, do we not have that senior leadership we need to say, guys, let's just take 3 out of here.
Yeah. That is the one thing. I hope, if this team is a team that wants to make the wild card and wants to give it a shot, wants to give it a run, I really hope we see that gear kind of switch at some point. Where, and like you mentioned, that's a good point. It might just be a veteran leader that we need. I mean, you're thinking of guys on the roster. It's like, what is Rob Refschneider being the vet that's leading this team, like, and trying to will them to win? It might be, but I don't feel good about it.
No, or
who else?
Troy O'Neill.
Tyler.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyler O'Neill. Yep.
But Tyler O'Neill's still only like fucking 27 or 28 or something, isn't he? He's not old.
No.
And he's been with the Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't really good. I mean, he's been in the playoffs, I'm sure. I'm not going to fact check this, but they haven't been deep enough that I'm relying on Tyler O'Neill to be the veteran presence in the clubhouse, you know? It's a Ref Snyder and who else? Which is really a problem if you start to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, do you say Reese McGuire, but he's never been a winner?
Never been a winner. So, you know, hey, Red Sox, listen up. I mean, we're going to have a deadline coming up before we know it. There's so many questions on Red Sox Twitter and everything about, are these guys going to be buyers or sellers? What positions are they going to sell from? What positions do they need to bolster? Blah, 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 for the playoff run. A lot. We need starting pitching. But we also need some sort of veteran presence. Because if these guys are going to want to go deep, they're going to need it. I saw a great trade proposal, actually, this weekend when I was home. It reunited two old Red Sox with us again. You want to guess who they are?
Two old Red
Sox. Let me just give you both of them are on the 2018 World Series team.
I'm thinking we need a corner outfielder, so I go ahead. I don't know.
It was for the pitching, Nathan Eovaldi from Texas.
Oh, yep.
Because they don't look good, and they're not going to try to defend to go back to back. They are a shell of the team that won last year. And it would be JD Martinez as and it almost makes too much sense, doesn't it? It almost sounds and would feel so good. I don't know. I would love to see it again, and I think he would be a great presence in the locker room, and even as that veteran presence, but also as a guy that's just there to help. I mean, you remember this stuff going into the 2018 season, and even a little after. Guys like Mookie and the big guys in the lineup. I still remember them being like, yeah, JD was one of those guys to just help me in the clubhouse. He tweaked my swing just a little bit like this. And he's a very smart guy. He knows how to apply it. I think Jumbo Dong Martinez would make too much sense to reunite with the Red Sox. And then same thing with Eovaldi. I mean, he's been phenomenal this year for him. He's been phenomenal with Texas since we didn't fucking sign him, which kind of sucks. We've always liked Eovaldi. And, I mean, he's been nothing short of an ace this year. You put him in there with Hal, Cutter, Eovaldi. That's a big three I like. And then you got Bello, and and then you got these other guys. Criswell, who is still at AAA right now, but I think he'll be pulled up eventually again, sooner rather than later. I don't know. There's a lot of moves that this team could make. There's a lot of moves the team should make, and we're just gonna have to wait around and see. But I would not be angry if we got reunited with two of our 2018 Red Sox World Series champion players.
I would love both those players, but yet, what are you needing to give up? And what would you be willing to give up?
I don't know. Let me see if they have.
I'll tell you one guy I wouldn't mind. Abreu.
Yeah.
Even though it was surprising,
no, man.
He was, I think, a plus 1,800 or so for AL Rookie of the Year.
Really?
Cedeno, though, they had like plus 3,200, I think it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I could find any sort of. I'm not seeing anything outside of, like the Kenley Jansen trade that we were talking about a while back. What the fuck is this? Oh, this was January 2nd. Never mind. It almost freaked me out. It says Marlins have targeted Tristan Cashtitz in trade talks with the Red Sox. This was January 2nd, though. We don't need to worry about that.
I mean, that's another thing. You're getting Tristan back.
Yeah, you are. All right, that's like That's like a trade
in itself.
In and of itself. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's a whole video actually. What is this? It's Washington something. I hope that's not Patrick Corbin. There's a whole video, Red Seat Radio. One of my first things I see right here. Smart Sox trade. Could the Red Sox trade for their former ace? It's a Nathan Uvalde take. That'd be, I hope so. Rumors, MLB trade rumors. Nothing. Oh, we did have one trade though. I think it was 2 days ago. Acquired right-hander Trey Wingenter. I don't fucking know. This shouldn't be a hard name to say. But we got him from the Tigers in exchange for minor league righty CJ Wines. I think this is just a
old-time guy.
I think this is just, but I don't even know if we're going to use him. I think this is just going to be one of those moves that both of these guys are stuck in minor leagues in the respective, organizations, and you moved them, and they're going to get stuck back in minor leagues in the respective organizations. Although Wingenter, I'm just going to call him by his first name. Last name, this shouldn't be this hard this early in the morning. He's 30. He's pitched in parts of 3 MLB seasons. Most recently appeared in the majors as members of the Tigers last year. Right-hander was a 17th round pick by the Padres in the 2017 draft and made his debut with the club in 2018. With 2 seasons with San Diego, where he posted a lackluster 5.14 ERA in 70 innings of work. Although his peripheral numbers suggested a stronger underlying performance that those run prevention numbers may have suggested, he struck out a whopping 33.1% of batters faced during his time with the Padres. That's actually super high. And that garnered him a 3.79 FIP despite a 13% walk rate and a 12.7% home run to fly ball ratio that both left something to be desired. Okay. I wish it was a bigger splash, but we'll see if he gets pulled up here. In the last little run to the playoffs, I think that would be maybe that, or maybe this is one of many moves, one of many small moves, because once you get to the playoffs, your roster expands a little bit. That maybe he's the guy that would be on that, it's not 40, but it's like 20 something, 28 or whatever. Maybe he'd be a guy that would just barely make the playoff roster,
Yeah. I mean, obviously we got a couple untouchables in the minors, but what player can get a JD and or an Evaldi?
Or, because I don't know who it could be. That's the thing. I mean, God, this is going to suck to say after he just did what he did on Friday.
Matsuyama. Yeah, we've said it.
Could be Yoshida time. It could be time to move him. I thought it's been time to move him all year. I thought it was time to move him last year, I'll be honest. He's not worth the investment we gave him. It could be time. You move on from him for JD? Potentially.
I would do that.
And I don't know if that really does it for JD's with the Mets, I think, right now. I don't know if that really pushes the needle for him. But Massa is a little younger. You probably have to attach some sort of prospect or a little prospect switch in there too, but nothing too crazy. I mean, you're not including, your Roman Anthony's, your Kyle Teals, your Marcelo Mayer. You're not doing any of those. But probably somebody a little deeper down. You mentioned something about, I think, the pipeline or whatever, or JD. But what about this? Now, I know we just went on this whole thing about, veteran presence, blah, 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 how great that would be. All right, let me give you a scenario. What if we don't need a veteran presence? What if we just need the bats? What if we just need the talent? And what if you're getting, boom, July, end of July, August, mid-August, end of August, start of September. We're getting playoffs right around the corner there, and You call up Marcelo Mayer. You call up Kyle Teal, and you call up Roman Anthony. Could that push the needle for you? You know, they're still not veterans, but they're talented. You're getting Cassius back. You're getting Anthony. You're getting Teal. You're getting Mayer. You're getting a bunch of good bats. All of those guys, I think, are hitting upwards of 300 in the minors right now. Could that do it? Could that be enough to rejuvenate this team and push them for that wild card?
I think the problem being this is that you're going to end up getting logjam at a number of positional places. Sure, if you have Marcelo Mayer and he can field as well in the major league level, and then you put Rafaela into center, opening up then Jarren to go into left and putting Tyler O'Neill in right, that I'm happy with that outfield.
Yeah.
We still need, obviously, a DH worth something. And Yoshida's not that. He's not a home run hitting threat. He's a, singles machine kind of thing.
Contact sort of guy.
Contact, yeah. With Tristan coming back, I mean, Romy Gonzalez and Dom Smith has played a decent first base. I mean, Romy, never playing first base, had that athletic catch and then step on the bag when we were watching it the other night. And I really like that kid. Do you then have Tristan, easing his way back and he's your DH, which would be fine.
No, I'd much rather have Tristan at first. I really would. And then save DH for, I don't know, something else. I like Tristan on the basis,
Yeah.
I like his defensive capability. I mean, here's a thought. We're talking about log jamming positions. You bring up Teal, and he's just a catcher. Although I hear way too much stuff about people saying, "Oh yeah, we'll bring up and we'll throw him in the outfield." He's been a lifelong catcher. He was a catcher for like 4 years at Virginia or whatever. I don't understand how people are thinking, let's just throw him in the outfield. He'll be fine because he's an athlete. I get it. I want him at catcher. You know? So you take Connor Wong out. You got him on the bench. The guy who's leading all catchers in batting average this year. He's hitting, 310, 365 OBP, 441 slugging, 806 OPS. Only 7 home runs. He doesn't look like the guy that's gonna get you yard, but if that's all we're getting out of our DH anyways right now with Yoshida, I'd almost rather have Connor in there.
Yeah, I would.
But we'll see. I don't imagine, honestly, any of those guys, I think, would be up by the end of the year. It would be nice. I've seen talks about it. I don't think, if anybody, I'll say, so you were saying, like a corner outfielder. I think Roman is probably the closest one. At the start of the year, it was Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he would still fit that shortstop, and then you can move Zidane out. So that kind of fits that. But I think Roman has had just such a great year in the minors that he has just barely jumped Mayer. He would be the next guy to be called up, and he would just fit right on out there in the outfield. So I don't know. It's a lot. It's a good problem to have because 2 years ago, man, you looked at this farm system after the Mookie trade and like all that. You get the Jeter downs and Kyle Bloom was doing Kyle Bloom things and Kyle fucking ruined us. All right, Kyle absolutely ruined our farm system and some of the young guys that we had. And now you're looking at this and you have 3 gems at the top of it. And then, the other guys that fill in. It's nice to at least feel a little confident in what we've got in the pipeline, as opposed to how I felt 2 years ago about the minor league system for the Red Sox. All right. Well, that's enough Sox stuff. We just went 40 minutes on for Sox. Let's get through some of the other stuff here. I don't need. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Kind of. Patriots extended Jelani Tavai, and that's about as much as we need about the Pats right now. They're probably going to be doing OTAs now, I think. But the big one, let me bring up the Bruins free agency moves.
I'm glad we're on the same page because I just pulled that up, and I remember last podcast I said, see you in September, Bruins. We'll end up talking about you then, and nope, I have to retract that statement. Boy, oh boy.
You do. Because now I don't know what all the big fuss is about. I've heard some people being like, oh, yeah, well, I fucking hate the Don Sweeney, blah, blah, blah. This is such a terrible free agency. I don't get this. I really don't. I love what we did. I think Tuesday was free agency or Monday. It was Monday. Started it. I think we killed it. I think we have an A+ in free agency. This isn't just being a fan, being biased. We fucking nailed it.
To do that much on day one.
This has
not been their MO.
Yeah. You go and grab Elias Lindholm from Vancouver. 7 years, $7.75 million a year. You get that number one center, or he might not come in and play that number one line, but he has the ability to be a number one center. I mean, this guy is 2 years removed from having an 80-plus point season, and he was, last year, a lot of people are going to look at his stats and be like, oh, well, this was actually the first things I saw on Twitter. Oh, well, you're signing a guy for 7 years that only scored like 9 goals or something last year. Yeah, well, he was also traded halfway through the year. He played half the year with Calgary. He had to find his way into what to do with Vancouver once he got traded there. I'm not blaming him for that. I remember Elias Lindholm as being a great player, and so I loved this move. I was so happy for this. We get Nikita Zadorov, big defenseman. We got him for 6 years, I believe.
5.
Yeah, 6 years. 6 years, annual cap hit of $5 million. That's what you're thinking.
Yep.
6'6", 248, absolute enforcer of defenseman. He's gonna be the guy and the power that we need to rival a Florida Panthers way of play. I think when we were watching this series and we were talking about it during the playoffs, we were like, dude, they're fucking assholes, and we gotta just kind of play them like that too.
And the nice thing is, if he's playing with Charlie, it allows Charlie now to be that loose Charlie, offensive-minded defenseman, because Nikita is a stay-at-home left defenseman.
I don't think he will though, but there's a whole lot of time that needs to go by before we even see this team play. I think I saw something projected, though, that Charlie would be first line with Geeky and Lindholm, Hampus, and Zadorov would be together as a second, which I also don't hate. It'll be interesting. I don't know, because, last year we had times in the playoffs where we were running Hampus and and McAvoy together, and it's like, well, that's an outstanding defensive line, yes. But then, you're taking away a lot of the balance of your other 3 defensive lines.
Yep.
I think this move is going to let us balance it out a lot better, and I'm going to feel good with any defensive pairing that's on the ice.
And with that being said, I would absolutely love then Mason Laurie with Brandon Carlo.
Yep, and that was the third one, which I love that line.
I'm
gonna love any line that has Laurie regardless. Not only just Geeky with McAvoy, but I also saw one with Laurie with McAvoy on the first line, which I wouldn't hate that either, because that's our guy. And then the other 2 signings, Max Jones. To be honest with you, I don't know too much about these next 2 guys. This guy was in Anaheim. He was a Duck. I think this is a 2-year deal, annual cap hit of $1 million, just to fill a spot at a forward. And Riley Tuft, another forward, 6'6", another big guy, 25th overall pick in 2016. He's aiming to become a full-time NHLer, so he might be a guy that we don't have on the opening day roster, but 1 year, $775,000 contract. He's played 18 games in the NHL, 13 for Dallas in 21 to 23, and 5 for Colorado last year. But he's put forth some very strong numbers in offensive numbers in the AHL. So we'll see if he fits in there, but at least it's good to have, some depth at those forward positions. And it looks like, with the addition of Elias, who's a big one there as the center, and with some guys there offensively that, you already trust, I guess. Last year, we weren't one of those teams we're not going to shoot it out of the fucking, stadium, and we're not going to go crazy on the offensive end. We were definitely a defensive-minded team, but you make some of these additions that makes you feel like, all right, well, if we need to, we can stack up a little better on the offensive end,
Yeah. My only concern looking at this roster here, and again, we've talked about it all year long, is the versatility, but your heavy center left wing, you only have 2 right wings technically on this roster.
Yeah, and
who's going to play on that? And I saw a lot of who's going to play on that top line with Charlie and Brad. Is it a Frederick? Is it a Geeky who they have?
It's not Frederick.
Or
I can tell you that much.
Or I even heard, do they give it to Justin Brazo? I mean, a 6'5", 220 guy, that would be nice. That enforcer, big power forward type of guy.
Yeah, I think the flashy fan in me wants to say, we're going to be able to rely a lot on, potentially a very stacked first line here in what would be nice here. Don't just hear me out. Zacha, Elias, Pasta.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Yes, that's flashy. That's going to look great on paper. I don't want it though. I want to spread out a little bit. Elias, I hope, probably plays second line. Right out there with Brad, maybe. And you at least can spread it out and feel a lot better about, your first 2 lines than you did last year. Whereas, it honestly felt at some points, if Pasta wasn't on the ice or Brad wasn't on the ice, when they were on that third and fourth line, you're not even hoping for a goal. You're kind of just like, hey, can we just make it 2 minutes until the first line gets back out on the ice? Now, you can push some of this stuff down. You're going to have Charlie Coyle, who now will probably push into the third line. And
I saw Charlie Coyle being still your number 1 center with Brad and
oh yeah, wait, no, because I'm saying Elias would be second. Yeah, never mind. Well, I love that then. Zacha, Coyle, Pasta, and then you have Brad, Elias, and who's the last wing there on the second?
Wait,
is that Frederick?
What did you say the first line?
Zacha, Coyle, Pasta.
Zacha, Coyle, Pasta.
And then Brad, Elias,
and
Frederick. Geeky?
Or Frederick, yeah.
I think it would probably be Frederick. Who knows? All I know is this is the most excited I've been about a Bruins free agency splash and the team that we might look at next year in a long time. Probably the most excited I've been ever for the Bruins leading into the next year. So, very good stuff. I'm giving it, like I said, I'm giving it an A+. What's up?
Question for you. I just saw today that Jeremy is not going to arbitration.
Yes. Wait. So, okay, I was going to pull this up because this is a big thing. So let me look. So he's not. So we elected not to?
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. This is good. I know we're worried. I know everybody in Bruins, as a Bruins fan, is worried because Swayman has not been extended yet, and we kind of hope that this would have happened a long time ago. Literally, I was hoping that this is the first thing that came out Monday. But I am okay with him not going to arbitration. He didn't elect to do it, which we already knew that was going to happen because he went to arbitration last year. He had publicly stated how he fucking hated arbitration and he hopes to never go there again. So he declined it. Then after that, I think that was Friday. The Bruins had 24 hours to decide if the team wanted to take him to arbitration. Thank God that they didn't, because it would have been a big, like, fuck you slap in the face if we took him back to arbitration again. So this is good. He's still a restricted free agent. This means they are almost there. They are at the doorstep, because if Sweeney and if the Bruins team did not think that, they're going to get this extension done, they would have taken him to arbitration again. But they must think that they're right there. And I think, and it's the number that keeps getting floated around, 8 for 8. And I think that's what it's going to be. But we'll see. It could even be shorter if Swayman, I saw something about his agent could potentially be trying to push for 6 years and not 8, whereas the Bruins want it for 8 because I think it's 6 years. He'd become a free agent right in his prime and could cash in on a big one. But dude, still getting 8 years for $8 million here. It might come out and be 8 for 8.5. I don't know. I don't care what it is. I really don't care what it is, Don Sweeney. Just make sure Swayman stays a Bruin.
Now, I was looking at this. So I looked at the roster and we've discussed Brandon Bussey before. Brandon is same age, or a couple months older. 6'4", 218 to Jeremy's 6'3", 195. So obviously a larger version of him.
Jeremy's 6'2".
Okay, well they have on their roster him at 6'3".
Oh, on the Bruins roster? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. Here it says 6'2". Whatever.
I just read this. Couple teams could give him an offer sheet if we do not match it, getting that first, second, and third round pick for the future.
Right.
And then Bussey. We're almost at a win-win kind of thing.
It's not a win-win. Let's not say that, because yes, we like Buss, and he's been the best goalie in the AHL for the last year and a half or whatever it is. He's great, but it's not a win-win. We want a win is keeping Swayman. We want him regardless. Yes, it is a good backup plan that if somebody takes him from us, 2 firsts, a second, and a third is insane. But knowing the Bruins will just trade the fucking first round pick, and we're not going to even pick from them. So it sucks. I would feel a lot better about going the route of, almost letting go on Swayman, taking the picks, if it wasn't for the fact that means going into the next year, then Korpisalo is your number 2 goalie. And I hate that. I want a scenario in which I want Swayman more so because, and I know we talked about this last week, you can't put Korpisalo back down to AHL. He doesn't have the ability to move down again because of his roster or because of his contract or whatever it is, and how much he's already been in the NHL. He's got a terrible contract, so you're not going to be able to move him. I just hate this guy. So I want any world, any scenario in which it's Swayman as our 1, and even if we got to just eat the dead cap, we can bring up Bussey and get rid of Korpisalo, because I don't want him starting a single game for the Boston Bruins next year.
And it would be absolutely awful if we ended up losing Swayman and Allmark in this offseason.
It would be a
travesty.
I don't even know what to compare it to. I'm trying to think in terms of what this means for not just the Bruins, but I'd say as an athlete that is loved, what this would mean for the city of Boston would be the first thing that comes close to rivaling the Mookie Betts trade.
Mm-hmm.
As how it would feel for the fans.
Or Tom Brady.
Mookie was loved. No, nothing. I was about to say that, and then I pumped the brakes. Nothing's Nothing will ever reach the Brady leaving. But this will be damn close to Mookie. This would almost be the exact same. Losing Allmark and Swayman after having the best goalie tandem in the league for 2 years to going to neither of them in one offseason, detrimental. It would in my eyes, while I just already said they had an A+ free agency, it instantly wipes everything we did in free agency. And I don't give a shit about any of the moves. I don't care about Elias. I don't care about Zadorov. I don't care about Max Jones. I don't care about the team. Whatever they did, if you lose Jeremy Swayman this offseason, everything goes to shit.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, everything goes to shit. All right. Anything else? You think? Here's a question then. Do you think by this time next week, when we're doing this, when we're doing the next episode? By the way, when you did the intro, I kind of let you run with it. You didn't mention what episode this is.
I said it was episode 27.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You did not. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe you did, and I might have just zoned out. Coffee. That was probably when I was getting
when you spilled.
coffee.
Yeah, it was when you spilled your coffee.
Of course. Do you think by this time next week, when we're recording, Jeremy Swayman is locked in for 8 years?
I'm gonna say he'll be locked in for 6.
6 years, but you think the contract will be signed? He'll be locked in by Monday.
Actually, I don't think so. I think it's going to go 2 weeks.
I don't even know if it'll go 2. I think it might go a while. I really do, and I don't like it, but I think it might go a while.
I mean, obviously, I think he wants to. He loves it here, but I think he kind of wants to just see what else is there. And I would be afraid if other teams start throwing out numbers that we just don't want to
well, no, that's not that we don't want to. It's just that we can't. We have 8.66 in cap space.
Yep.
If we're going 8 for 8, we literally have $600,000 left in cap space for the rest of the year. This is all we can do. We can potentially do 8.5, and maybe that's what his agent's holding out for. They're like, yeah, we know you can do 8. We know you can just barely do 8.5. Maybe that's what he's holding out for. I don't know. Whatever it is, make sure Swayman stays. Love this fucking guy. Especially, I want to buy his jersey, man. I was going to do it this offseason. I can't do it if he fucking leaves. The number one goalie.
I mean,
so sick.
Maybe you have to do 4 or 5 years.
Maybe. I think maybe that's what he wants to do so he can revisit the market in a couple of years when he's, 4 years brings him to when he's 29. 5 years brings him to when he's 30. That's right there in the peak. You want to be able to probably revisit the market then. If he does the 8, like I think the Bruins are pushing for, then you get him to 33, and he's not cashing in for a big contract after that. He's probably doing one more for 2 to 3 years, and then boom, he's getting out of the league. So, who knows? I like the whole 8-year, but if he wants the 5, if that's what's killing it here, just do it. Just get him, and then in 2 to 3 years when you can start the process of renegotiating and offering him an extension on top of what's the thing, then focus on it then. But at least for the next 3 years or 4 or 5, like you're saying. We just signed Elias to 7. We signed Zadorov to 6. This is your window now. We've still got Pasta for, I think, 6 or 5 or 6 because of his extension that, happened a couple of years ago. You've got this window. Let's at least just get him for the next 4 to 5. So you keep that window, and then worry about Swayman after that if you want him for the next 3.
Yeah, because Brad is not going to be here, too much longer too.
Brad's got 2 years at the absolute max, I think.
Yep.
2 years. Damn, that sucks. All right. So on from contract extensions and stuff for the Bruins to your NBA champion Boston Celtics. Just fucking we're throwing out money last week. I don't know where this money comes from anymore. I don't understand. Salary caps are a joke in the NBA. I don't get it. But Jason Tatum signed to a 5-year, $315 million extension. Derek White, I'm not looking at it here, but I'm going to try to rip this off my dome. I think it was 4 years, $137 million. Let me see. Derek White extension. 4 years, 126. That's what it was. Luke Cornett re-signed. Derek White re-signed. Tatum extended. What else? Sam Hauser re-signed. Xavier Tillman re-signed. I think the only person that is not yet to be re-signed is O'Shea Brissett. Other than that, they're bringing back absolutely everybody from the team that just won it. And then you're adding in, Baylor Shireman and whoever the fuck the guy was from Gonzaga that we were talking about last week in the second round that I cannot remember.
Maybe Turner? I don't remember.
That's no, but it's I don't know. Whoever he is. Don't take any disrespect by it. But anything you have to say about these extensions, about the money going around, about what they're doing to set up this team to have a window to become a dynasty?
I mean, obviously, I'm really excited that we keep Derek and make the extension now to Jason. Getting our keeping our team in place is needed. I think gonna definitely get that. What plus 230? I think it is to repeat.
That's the last I saw it. I think plus 220, plus 230.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you saw Anton Watson is the kid from.
That's what it is.
Yep. Philly getting Paul George. You said last week, the Knicks looking nice. Just keep what we had. I don't think there was anything outside free agency that we could have gotten that would have really bolstered the team.
I don't think you needed to. I think there was still so much of a gap. I'm looking at these headlines right now, and it's not, what did the Celtics do? It's, did the Knicks or did the 76ers close the gap with the Celtics? Right. People understand that there's so much of a gap already.
The players that were out there that we could have gotten are very similar to what we have already.
And, like who are you thinking of?
Well, again, just Paul George. He's a similar. Where was he going to play? Where was Donovan Mitchell staying in Cleveland? Where was he going to play?
Yeah. I wouldn't have liked Paul George anyways, and we were never going to, make a move for that, but you don't need to, which is a great feeling because, the 76ers fans are out here like, oh my God, we got Paul George, but it's like, all right, nice. You got is he like 32?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a guy that is going to play at a high level for probably a year and then realize that he hates playing with Joel Embiid, as does everybody else. And then the team's going to crumble like they do until they realize that Joel Embiid's a problem. And you're just not going to win with him as your centerpiece. But this isn't a Hate the 76ers podcast. This is a Go Celtics podcast. So, Jason Tatum cut his hair. He's got a fresh cut for the Olympics again.
Nice.
Straight cut. So he's going to drop 55 in the Olympics. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this trivia thing here.
Well, wait a minute. What other big Celtic news was there? The potential sale.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just trying to make sure. Look at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Celtics up for sale. Sad, but I'm happy Wick announced it after he re-signed everybody and got the whole team, set in stone. It sucks, but it makes sense. They're I saw a stat. I think he bought the Celtics way back in 2002 or whatever at like $600 million or something. I don't remember the actual number. They're valued at like $4.3 billion now as a franchise.
Bought it 2003 for $360 million.
Oh, even less. And now they're valued at I think 4.3 after the win. So I get it as I get it as a business move. I mean, if you're trying to maximize profit here, go ahead. I mean, I'm looking at some right here. The Boston Celtics sale will break records. This post is for paid subscribers? Fuck you. When, who do you think it goes to? What happens? I mean, it's just the majority share, and I think Wick will still stay, around, and he'll still have a say, even if he's not an owner anymore. What's your best case scenario? Who buys this team? What happens?
The team currently is the number 43rd off of the top 50 most valuable teams at $4 billion. What I'm afraid of is this little article I just saw July 6th coming out of the Boston Globe that says who reportedly might be behind the Celtics sale. Some in this article was saying that Wick's dad of 90 years old is probably saying, hey, time to get out. And what John Henry said about possibly buying the team. Just mentions that Fenway. Yeah, I know.
Stay away, John Henry. Stay away.
Says that the Fenway Group is looking for an NBA team. Stay away, John.
Stay away. I don't want it. He's going to ruin the Celtics. That would suck so bad. And I've heard so much of it. And I'm so scared.
I don't think
it happens, though.
Yeah. Basically, we at this point are putting in, we would like your support, listeners, so that we as a group can be the new majority owner.
Yeah, let's make the Celtics publicly owned. Let's all put in $1 and let's do it. I'm down for it. Could you imagine how cool it would be to be an owner of the Celtics?
That would be.
Yeah, it would be pretty sick. All right. Well, now, okay. Let's get to our trivia segment. Do you have anything else here before we do this now?
No, nothing else. Well, we have to do a quick little shout out to neighbor Mike.
Neighbor Mike.
Great supporter
Neighbor
of
Mike.
this podcast and
the reason
helped us. Yeah, helped us win.
Yep.
On Friday night.
That the Sox beat the Marlins. Mike is the answer.
Yankees.
No,
Yankees.
No, it was the Marlins because it was on the fourth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go. Shout out Mike. Kept us alive. All right. So this is just called Random Red Sox Trivia. There's some cool questions in here, which is why I picked this one. Let me share my screen to you. Bang. You see this?
Let me get over there. All right.
All right. Bunch of just crazy questions. I don't know how many of these we'll get, but we'll see. It'll be kind of cool. We got 5 minutes, 20 questions. I'm going to go through from the left down and then the right down. If you got it, we'll say it. If not, we'll just move on because these are kind of big questions and we'll try to get as many as we can. All right.
All right.
Here we go. What season was nicknamed the Impossible Dream?
That was the Impossible Dream. Was that 69?
1969? Nope. Well, is it 1969 to 70? How is this?
Or 78?
No.
Well, then, was it 2000?
Is it 2004? No. I don't know. We'll move on from this one. Come back to it. The owners of the Red Sox also own what soccer team? This is Liverpool, right?
Liverpool.
1917, Ernie Shore threw a perfect game in relief of what pitcher who was ejected one batter into the game?
Ty Cobb? Or not Ty. Cy Young.
Nope.
No.
You want the tie?
No.
All right. Okay, moving on. What was the franchise called when they won their first World Series in 1903? I've heard this. Oh my god.
Was it the Highlanders or was that the Yankees?
The
Because we just did
the
this.
Yankees. Yeah, I think that was the Yankees. Were they the Braves at that point? No. Yeah, what was it? Because we did just do this.
Yeah.
Was it Boston? Do I have to put Boston Highlanders? I guess not. But I think that was the Yankees one.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Who had the nickname Mr. Red Sox?
Was it Yaz?
Oh God, I'm gonna have to spell that. I don't know how to spell his name.
Or Ted Williams.
Oh, that's a good one. Ted Williams. No. Wow. All right. Who's the Red Sox all-time leader in career WAR? This, I think, would be 10. Yeah. What Red Sox player was the All-Star Game MVP in 2008? Is this like Ortiz or Pedroia?
Jordan.
I'm trying to think. They would be the only ones. You think Pedroia? No.
Or was it who was the one the pitcher that had the blade?
Pedro?
Kurt Schilling.
No. Kurt. No. Damn.
Hmm.
In 2008? All-Star Game MVP? I don't know, but I want to look this one up. I'll look it up after. Who's the record for most career hits by pitch in a Red Sox uniform?
By a pitcher?
No. Career hit by pitch.
Oh,
So like a batter.
Ortiz.
Ortiz? Yeah, we're getting cooked here. Red Sox drafted what player with the compensation pick received for losing Pedro in free agency? This could be it. When did we lose Pedro?
Was it Pedroia?
That's how you spell his name, man. Dustin Pedroia. No. These are gonna. I'm sure we're gonna know some of these. Who's the last Red Sox batter to win the Triple Crown?
Ted Williams.
Oh man, Ted. Yeah. I mean, no,
No. Carl.
wasn't David. Carl.
No.
Remsky. I think that's how you. No. Who's the only player to pinch hit for both Ted Williams and Carl Yastrzemski? Oh, here's his name. Perfect. Oh, fuck. Do you know?
Tony C.
Oh, it was. Yes, for that. Okay. Tony who?
Tony Caligaro.
Not even happening. I'm not getting the names of who appear in Morse code painted on the green monster. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know. What pitcher won all three deciding games of the 2004 postseason for the Red Sox? Is that Schilling?
No. It was
Derek
Lowe.
Love. That's it.
Yep.
Okay, so here. 67 was nicknamed the Impossible J. What did you say? 68? You're right off.
69. Yep.
You said 69.
Babe Ruth.
The Boston Americans. Okay, yeah, the Highlanders were New York. The Americans was Johnny Pesky, nicknamed Mr. Red Sox. J.D. Drew. Oh, my God. Yeah, J.D. J.D. Drew, All-Star Game MVP in 2008. Kevin Youkilis, most career hit by pitch in a Red Sox uniform. Clay Buchholz was picked. Oh, yeah, fuck Clay. Got that one. Carroll Hardy, only player to pinch hit for both Ted Williams and Carl. Tom and Gene Yaki are the names.
They were the previous owners.
Yeah. Derek Lowe, pitcher, deciding all 3 games. The ones that we didn't get to, what Red Sox pitcher won the Cy Young Award in 1967? Jim Lonborg.
Yeah.
What player is number 14 retired for? Jim Rice. Who's the only Red Sox player to crack 50 home runs in a single season in the 20th century? Jimmy Fox. Who is the Red Sox first ever draft pick? Billy. Is this who you were talking about?
No.
Cogliero? Did I nail that? I don't think so. What year did the official team name become the Boston Red Sox? 1908. What Boston Red Sox player has the only postseason cycle? Brock Holt. I actually would have got that. I remember that one. And who was the last Red Sox player to wear number 42 prior to being retired throughout the MLB? Mo Vaughn. That was hard.
That was.
They should have told you how hard that was. I know it was that hard. But all right. Well, I guess we can say we did it. All right, Dan. You got the intro. You want to get us out of here too?
Well, yeah, I would love to, but I don't know all of our ways to reach out to us.
Oh my God. You'd think you would, because what are we, 27 episodes in now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, find us on social media at A New Era Podcast, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, A New Era Podcast. If you'd like to email us, A New Era Podcast at gmail.com for all your questions, comments, concerns, and funny business. And outside of that, we got nothing else. We will catch you guys next week for episode 28 of A New Era Podcast. Yeah, I fucking lost it because you fucked me up. See, I gotta do the intro and the outro, or otherwise I'm losing everything today. Thank you guys for listening to episode 27 of A New Era Podcast. You know how to find us. I just went over it. Appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you guys next week for episode 28.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dad.